Now, on behalf of Mr. Mark Halfinger, CEO of PCCW Global, I'd like to call on the stage Chief Global Strategy and Marketing Officer for PCCW Global for a keynote. Please welcome Mr. Mike Bergh.
Hello and good morning. It's always a privilege and a pleasure to be here. My apologies, first of all, on behalf of Mark Halfinger. We have actually a little short video clip that he just recorded, extending his apologies to you in person, but I'd like to pass those on as well. Are we going to play that quickly? Thank you.
Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Telecom Review team. Good morning, all of the attendees at the Telecom Review session in Dubai this morning. Each year, PCCW Global is excited to take part in Telecom Review, and I have personally enjoyed being there almost every year because I believe it's one of the most substantive events that delivers true value in one day of study and attention to so many different vectors of the ICT industry. Unfortunately, due to various activities going on here in Hong Kong in the last few weeks, and because of a very challenging schedule, I had to change my plans and not join you this morning. In my stead, our Chief of Global Strategy and Marketing Worldwide, Mr. Mike Bergh, will be attending on my behalf and providing some views that PCCW Global has about how the industry is evolving as it shifts from telecommunications carrier to technology provider. Hopefully you'll enjoy the event today. PCCW Global is very grateful to Telecom Review for the opportunity given to take part in this event each year, and I hope to see you in 2020. Have a great day.
Right, so as I'm afraid today you have the poor man's Mark Halfinger, but I'll do my best to pass on the message. He and I have spent a lot of time talking about this. He did actually message me after he'd recorded that, and he said, Mike, he says, I forgot one thing. He says, I wanted to actually thank our team locally as well. He says, because they are an amazing team. They really look after the region. He says, please make sure you do that. So to Samak and to the rest of the team, I know you're here. Thank you very much as well. But anyway, getting on to what I wanted to talk to you about, I'd like to really share with you a little bit of our journey, if you like, something that I believe is a strategic imperative. It's a journey that everybody in this room is going to have to work their way through at some point in time. And that is how to transform from what is essentially a legacy telco, a telecommunications carrier, through to becoming a technology company. And what does that actually mean? So from that point of view, just a little bit of background for those of you who aren't 100% familiar with PCCW Global. We're a Hong Kong headquartered company, been around for close on 100 years now. Last year we had $4.3 billion in revenue, listed on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, and Hong Kong Telecom is the leading carrier in Hong Kong. We are the international operating arm of HKT. And just some quick numbers, just to give you a sense of that we are a truly global carrier. And the reason I just mentioned this is because we're having to make exactly the same adjustments as any other carrier located in any region, having to figure out what do our customers want and how do we transform ourselves in order to meet their needs. So yes, we have an extensive amount of submarine cable capacity, can cover many times around the world. We are a tier 1 carrier. We're one of the top 10 tier 1 carriers around the world. We have an extensive presence in terms of network connectivity. We're connected to all of the hyperscale cloud providers, and that's going to play an important role in terms of my talk this morning as well. We serve over 1,000 mobile networks worldwide. We have offices in 56 countries, and our team collectively speak 35 languages. So we are a global carrier. So against that, we look at our market, and I want to focus specifically today on the enterprise market. We have a look at the challenges that our customers are facing and how we need to transform ourselves in order to adapt to that. So, and really it is all, and Dr. Bastaki spoke about it in his opening speech, it is all about the fourth industrial revolution. It is particularly the migration to the cloud. And if we have a look, pretty well everybody is moving towards the cloud. It is usually a combination of migration to public cloud and private cloud. So we see a tremendous movement in terms of hybrid cloud innovation, which is a complex thing to do. Everybody is doing it because if you like, the benefits are very significant. But in terms of the numbers that are involved, everybody is wrestling with the fact that complexity is really fundamentally at the bottom of that. So, and this is really where I wanted to get to. The challenges of getting to the current cloud environment is such that as the enterprise becomes increasingly dependent on cloud, mission-critical cloud services require 100% availability, yet everybody is connecting to them largely via the public internet. And to be frank, I think we all understand the public internet. It is a best efforts utility. We provide a large amount of it ourselves, but some managing performance and security is very difficult in terms of its predictability, and that continues to degrade. So the expertise of linking all these different cloud providers, linking to the applications that are located in the cloud, managing the security and delivery is becoming extremely complex. And employees really across the enterprise sector are finding it extremely difficult to do that and to do it in a cost-effective way as well. To have the resources available when they want them, where they want them, to be able to switch to what they want as well, and not to pay more than they have to. So if we have a look, that really is driving digital automation. And again, Dr. Bastaki made reference to things like robotics and artificial intelligence and all these other elements. We as network providers, network service providers, are harnessing that as well to be able to deliver effective services to our customers. So bottom line is, if you have a look at the fastest growing category in terms of network services and cloud services, is that data center to data center traffic. We're looking at a compound annual growth rate of 33%, and the overall traffic going in and out of data centers is 27%. We can't ignore those. The bottom line is that the fabrics that interconnect those data centers are becoming increasingly complex. And so, as network service providers, we need to say, how do we solve our customers' pain points? How do we solve our challenges in an environment where we ourselves can't necessarily manage that on a day-to-day manual basis? Sorry. So, in terms of all of that, this is the evolution that I think service providers in general have been going through. We have a look at what's happening on the left-hand side of the screen. We have all of the different sectors that are driving up, use on the network and driving connectivity to the cloud. We talk about things like mobility, IoT, Internet of Things, VR, and interactive VR as well, robotics. All of these are driving connectivity to the data center. They are actually requiring the processing to be closer and closer to the point of content creation. So we need to be able to actually ensure that from an edge compute point of view, we are linking everybody into the data centers, doing it at the shortest possible time, reducing latency and so on and so forth, but doing it in a secure fashion, doing it with a quality and predictability, and ensuring that the services that are being delivered are, if you like, harnessing these new elements of productivity in terms of technology adoption. So we're looking at, for example, artificial intelligence, hyperscale databases, cloud computing, and so on in the data centers. And as I said, we have two options. One is to actually go via the public internet, which has unpredictable performance, complexity, is extremely transparent in terms of linking up to that, or we can actually use digital platforms to be able to manage that connectivity. And that's really the journey that we've been working our way down. And this is, if we have a look at bringing together the elements of digital automated innovation, we have a look at service automation, we look at speed and security, and we look at global coverage in terms of being able to deliver services when and where our customers actually want them. We're looking at a fully integrated technology stack, so starting at the bottom in terms of connectivity on a global basis and on a regional basis, and also getting right down to capillarity levels as well. We have the clouds and the data center access, which is happening via via IP, MPLS, SD-WAN, and so on. But then layering on top of that, we have the digital platform element, and looking at lean, agile development that is actually ensuring that when we deliver that access to the core network, it is software. We always talk about softwareizing our network, if you like. Everything is becoming softwareized. So we have SDN, we have NFV, network function virtualization. All of these elements are being driven via an automation layer that is giving access on a seamless basis to those secure assets that are sitting in the cloud and accessible via a scalable global network. And this really, I suppose, is why we're doing it as network service providers as well. Because if we have a look at the way that our own business has changed, and I wanted to share this with you because I think it actually affects your own thinking as well, is if we have a look at where we were as a pure telecommunications service provider, we were accessing a small number of user communities, if you like. Those were our own customers, and those are the ones that we had direct line of sight to. If you have a look now, we're that automated environment, that cloud-centric environment is giving us access to a set of user communities, which are carriers, which are SMEs, corporate enterprises, multinationals, it's mobile companies, and so on. But it is also giving us access to everything that is out in the cloud in terms of the public clouds, the IoT platforms, industrial software as a service, and so on. And what that is doing is, from a point of view of accelerating the rate of take-up, this is creating a non-linear growth opportunity because it is a many-to-many set of relationships. So as we create these communities, one of the key things that we've done is actually facilitate the communities to be able to interact with one another as well. You know, we used to be the center of everything. Now we're used to effectively facilitating an organic element, which is our customer base, talking to other customers, talking to other users, talking to service providers, and all we're doing is effectively facilitating that via a set of APIs, so everything can be automated, creating the integrated elements that are needed to complete that enterprise customer value chain, things like payment settlement, social media interactions, cloud interfaces, network mediation. We were also among the first to introduce elements like blockchain, for example, facilitating inter-carrier settlement using distributed ledger technology to ensure that practices that were taking, in some cases, weeks rather than months, weeks rather than minutes, can now be reduced down to almost real time. So leveraging those sort of elements within a digital platform-based environment. And that's where we talk about leveraging that digital platform and addressing the different business ecosystems out there. So we're looking at using the platform. We still have the same business at the core. So if I have a look at our business, we have an evolving data connectivity business that is still providing classic connectivity. We're still investing in submarine cables. We're still investing in all the physical assets, if you like. We're actually still delivering services aimed at mobility and voice and so on. We're also adding on that digital automated innovation element that is all working together seamlessly via that digital platform to be able to provide focused, customer-centric services, addressing the main business ecosystems that we're actually targeting. So we have a look, we're delivering these services across the entire business ecosystem, to mobility, to wholesale data, and down to the enterprise, both small, medium, and large as well. And this is how we've seen it evolve, is that we're actually seeing that platform ecosystem. And by the way, it's having an effect on our business model as well, and something that you've got to take into account is at the heart, we've still got the network infrastructure. We still have hard assets that continues to be our core business. That is still the thing that drives everything, but it also enables us to underpin and warrant the service levels that we've got. That connectivity allows us to reach out to all the major cloud providers, and we have connectivity, as I think so many are as well now, to both those that are, I suppose, in the West, so the Googles, the Amazons, the IBMs, and so on, but also to the ones in the East, such as Tencent and Alibaba and some of the other regional ones as well. And the point is that each of those, our customers are now able, with a literally at the click of a button or via an API, to be able to bring up services, to be able to actually use them where they are, when they need them, and so on, and to be able to then bring them down again. Now, that all sounds really good. That's what the customers want. It's addressing the customer pain points. But we've got to remember that that's changing our business model as well. We're actually used to, back in the day, signing people up for a 3-year contract, 5-year contract, 15-year contract, and you know where your if you like, your investment paradigm is relatively easy. You know how you're going to get your money back. Now we're in the situation where we're actually enabling our customers to actually bring up a 1 gigabit circuit between 2 data centers, to use it for a particular application, and then to actually bring it back down again. And so we're effectively having to marry up the difference between very large, very long-term fixed investment and very short-term returns on that capital. And so you need to have a very high level of automation that enables you to manage that in an effective way. So as we look then at that component, we therefore, via that, everything is delivered via a software-based digital system. We can't manage the level of complexity and the pace of change without investing very heavily in software. Because, as I said, users can acquire connectivity services, cloud infrastructure, access to cloud-based applications. All of those, they're provisioned automatically, they're available when they need them, and then they can dispense with them as well when they don't need them. And that really is driving what we like to refer to as nonlinear growth opportunities. So in other words, as more and more players become part of that ecosystem, faster they're able to actually move forward. If we then add on to that the underlying network capabilities, so in terms of all of the components required to be able to deliver an integrated service capability, we start off with the fact that we are still a good old-fashioned network player, if you like, built the relationships with the clouds, the data center providers, and so on, but then extending it out into the enterprise players, the IoT players, the various software as a service players, and then expanding that out to all of the user community, scaling the network up, and providing that to be accessible on a global basis. So this really is what we now have, is that digital ecosystem. Still got the network at the center, but with agility and automation built on top of it, access to all of the public cloud, and access to all of the applications on the back, serving that universe of users. And as a result, our value proposition as a technology company changes dramatically, because now we're actually solving our customers' pain points. We're actually addressing the areas that they want in terms of reduced complexity, visibility, monitoring, greater efficiency, and so on. But doing that while we're changing our own growth trajectory on a non-linear basis. So that was just a quick story about where we're going. I think it's very applicable to pretty well everybody in this room as well. I hope that was useful to you, and I thank you for your time.